I remember being in South Africa in August the 30th through September the 9th, 2011, at the UN World Conference on Racism. And it was interesting because I'm on the plane going over, and I hear some voices talking. It's Jesse Jackson across the aisle from me talking to Conrad Worrell. They're both out of Chicago. I'm flying out of Atlanta, and there we are on the same plane. A whole lot of people that I knew over there. But the one thing I remember was this was a global community. And when the African Descendant Caucus got together, we spoke close to 20 different languages, if not 30, because we were from North and South America, we were from the continent of Africa, we were from Europe, we were from everywhere, but we had the common interest of race. And so we would get together. Danny Glover was sitting next to me. It was wonderful. He's fine. But at some point, it was the notion of what do you do around race and racism, and how does the world stage work on this? So here's this global world stage, and it was the most interesting thing. At that time, I was president of IORA, the International Association of Official Human Rights Agencies, which was based here in Washington, D.C., and I was representing them, and I was working at the commission, and that was it. So at the end of that meeting, it was a euphoric kind of a time, except that you go into South Africa and we get to Johannesburg and change planes, and I've never seen the largest paramilitary vehicles I've ever seen. And when we get to Durban, South Africa, there were helicopters and snipers on the roof because Yasser Arafat and Fidel Castro were speaking at this UN meeting. And so everything was interesting, and I'm like, oh, I'll sure be glad when I get back to the US where this does not exist. This is before 9/11 by 10 days. By 10 days. Get back here on 9/10. I slept all day. No, 9/10. Slept all day. Get up 9/11. I'm getting ready to go to a meeting in Shelbyville. And I see the first plane, and the day show, we're interrupting this program. It appears that a small plane has hit the World Trade Center. We're not sure what's going to. They didn't know it was a major airliner. They thought it was a small plane.
In an accident.
And my first thought was, this is terrorism. I had just come out of this paramilitary, these guns. People were holding all these big rifles as we were going in and out of these meetings. And I'm going, terrorism. Then the second plane hit the second tower. And I said, I knew it. So I put my clothes on and I go to my meeting. I really did. So we get there and everybody's gathering and we're talking about this. But life changed in America as we know it. And here we are now dealing with not only the aftermath of Osama bin Laden and all of those terrorists, we now have a new group of terrorists. And on 9/11, it's the time when we reflect on that. And it's all about what are we as a world? What are we doing to make sure that people get what they need so that groups like this cannot exist? What do they want? Why do they want it? And why did so many innocent people have to die to get it? The same can be asked of the civil rights movement. What did they want? And why did so many innocent people have to die? The issue is everyone wants the same thing. They want freedom. They want access to believe as they believe. And they really do want to live a life free from